Hi guys, welcome to your C++ e-learning platform where we teach you how to program in C++ in the step-by-step approach do it yourself. I'm IK Team, your tutor on this platform. And this morning, we hope that the studies will be a blessing to you. What are the objectives of today's video? The video of the day, the objective is to introduce you to decision-making statements needed to control the flow of a program. And some of these statements are if else, switch, and the conditional operator. In programming, it gets to a point where the program has to make a decision. And as a programmer, you have to help the program make decisions. And then so to make that decisions, we use these statements to make that decision. When we introduce you to these ones, we'll also be implementing them with the C++ compiler for you to see how they have been implemented so that you can also implement them in your various homes as you watch. So what are decision making statements? Decision-making structures require that the programmer specify one or more conditions to be evaluated or tested by the program, along with statements to be executed if the condition is determined to be true, and optional other statements to be executed if the condition is determined to be false. So let's assume that you have sent somebody to buy you wache, and you know that wache is served with gari, is served with spaghetti or macaroni, is served with wole, is served with fish, is served with egg, and you send the person and say that, oh, guy, if you get there and there is gari, please buy me some. So the guy is going and you have given a condition, and the condition is if there is gari, and the statement here is what? Buy the gari. So he will check, is there gari? That's the condition. And if it is true, he will buy the gari. In the same way, in programming, it gets to a point where the program has to make decisions. So we use this statement to help the program to make those decisions. So let's see the structure. In most programming language, this is how the structure of decision making looks like. The condition that we are testing, and in this case, if we are using the gari example, the condition is the gari. So the condition is the gari. If yes, if the condition is true, that means that there is gari. So he will buy you gari. So the condition will be buy me gari. Buy what? Gari. And if the condition is false, that's all. So he will buy the gari if there is gari. That's all. That's a decision. And that is what we are saying. Oh, so in C++, we have these following types of decision statement. We have the if statement, we have the if else statement, we have the else, the switch statement, we have the nested if statement, we have a nested switch statement. The if statement has only one condition to be tested, and then one statement to be executed, or two or more statements to be executed. So an if statement consists of a Boolean expression followed by one or more statements. So if there is gari, buy me gari, 2 cedi. So then we have if else. So if there's no gari, what should the guy do? And you probably say, okay, then buy me macaroni or spaghetti. So if else has what? It has what? An optional else statement. Apart from the Boolean expression, there's an optional statement that needs to follow. So if there's no gari, then you buy macaroni, which means that he will not buy the macaroni if there's gari. So the macaroni becomes a second choice if there is no gari. Then we have the switch, and we have what? We'll be taking you through all this one, but in this video today, we'll be looking at the if and the if else. so that in a subsequent video we'll look at the switch and the nested if, and we'll go ahead. So let's see the if statement. An if statement consists of a Boolean expression followed by one or more statements. So let's see. What is the syntax? How do we do it, or what? How do we write if statement in C++? To write if statement, we say that what we is if. The keyword is if. You open a bracket here, and you put the Boolean expression in the bracket, and then you close it. Then you open what? A curly bracket here, and you put the statement that you want to be executed if this condition is what true. Then you close the curly bracket. So what are we saying? So we are saying that, for example, we said the guy should buy Gary if there's Gary. So if we say there's Gary, if there is what? Gary. If there is Gary, don't forget, if there is Gary, then open your bracket. What should the person do? You say you should buy Gary 2C. So that is what we are saying. So if there is Gary, the person should buy Gary. So this is the structure. You use the keyword if, and remember it should be in small letters. You open a bracket, the condition you are checking, you close the bracket, and then you open a curly bracket, and then you put the statement that you want you to be executed if the condition is true. Then you close curly bracket. So we say if the Boolean expression evaluates true, then the block of code inside the if statement will be executed. So this code here, whatever you put here in this two curly brackets will be executed if this condition is what? True. If the Boolean expression evaluates false, then the first set of code after the end of the if statement, after the closing curly bracket, will be what? Executed. So we are saying that if the condition is false, the system will continue and execute every code that is beneath this place. So let's see the flow diagram. So we have the condition, if it is true, the condition code, and if it is false, we continue and go ahead. So the condition will be what? Gary. Don't forget, the condition here will be what? Is there Gary? Is there Gary? Remember, we are using the Gary approach, the Wachi approach. So is there Gary? If condition is true. So if there is Gary, maybe buy Gary 2C. So will be buy or 2C. So he goes to the Wachi seller. Madam, do you have Gary? Yes. Then give me 2C. So he says, oh, give me Wachi 5C. Do you have Gary? He says no. He goes away. Madam, but give me Wachi 5C. Do you have Gary? Yes. Then give me Gary 2C. That is what we are saying. So let's see an implementation of this in C++. So we declare an integer k, a local variable, and then we call it we initialize it to 15, and then we are doing some Boolean checking here. Now this is the expression. The expression is that we are checking if k is less than 20. So we say if k is less than, remember we have learned all these signs and their meaning. If you are confused with them, please visit our previous video. If k is less than 20, then we open our curly bracket here, and then we put the condition that needs to be executed if k is less than 20. And the condition here is what? K is less than 20. So we come. The system k is what? 15. So we have we are checking 15 is less than what? 20. And it's true, right? 15 is less than 20, right? So we have 15 less than 20. Yes, it's less than 20. So we print out k is less than 20. If it is not less than 20, we just go and print what we are doing. So if it's less than 20, it will print what is here, and then the code will follow and print the next line. If it is not less than 20, the code will just come down and print what is beneath here. So let's see example. A movie room allows only 18 years and above to enter and watch a movie. As a programmer, write a C++ program that checks the age of customers and prompt them to go in. So we're looking at the solution. If you remember, I've always been telling that to solve a problem, try to break the problem into input, processing, and output. So here, the input will be age of a customer. Get the age that we are representing it by what? A. Then we process it. What is the process? The process is that we check if age is what? Greater. Sorry, if age is greater or equal to what? 18. So if age is greater or equal to what? 18, then access equal to you can go in. So check the age. Is the age that the person entered greater or equal to? Remember we've talked about the greater or equal to in our previous videos. So if you are confused with this comparators, then please go back and then watch our previous videos. So we print the output here. The output will access. So we take the input, which is the age of the person. We take it to the processing side. The process is to check whether the age is greater or equal to 18, and if it's so, you set access to, you can go in, and then we print access to the person to see. So let's do the implementation in C++, and let's see. So we have int age equals 0. We see out please enter please how old are you, and then we say see in age, and if age is greater or equal to 18, we print out you can go in. So see how we are checking the age. We use the keyword e, we open the bracket here, and then we say age, that is the age that we pick from the person. Check whether it's greater or equal to 18, and close the bracket here. And if it is true, this open this parenthesis, this close, and then we say print out to the person you can go in. So this one will only be printed on the screen when the age that the person entered is greater or equal to 18. So when we run this one, we entered 19 and the system says you can go in. Please try and copy this code and put them in your compiler and run and change enter different values as you run and see what the system is going to give you. So another example, write a C++ program to check if a given integer is an even number. Remember that when we're in school, we say that even numbers are numbers that are divisible by 2, meaning that a number that when you divide by 2, the remainder is 0. And don't forget that in our previous video, we said that we use the modulo when we are interested in the remainder of division of what? Integers. So when we divide integers and we are interested in the remainder of the division, we use the modulo sign. So don't forget. So here we implement this question using the modulo. So what will be the input? The input here will be to get what? The number. So the integer number, and we get the number. So when we get the number, what do? We process it. And what is the processing? If n modulo 2 equals 0, meaning that if you divide n by 2 and the remainder of it is equal to what? 0, the remainder is the same as 0, then n is an even number, because even numbers are numbers that are divisible by 2. Then we have what? The output. So once we find the number and it divisible by 2, we initialize the answer. Number is what? Even. So we print what? Answer to the screen. So this context, this answer will be set to number is even only and only if n modulo 2 is the same as what? 0. So let's see its implementation. Please feel free to copy the codes into your compiler and run it and see. So here we declare an integer and set it to what? N, and we said this n, we say the value is what? We initialize it to what? To 0, and then we see out print please enter an integer of your choice, and then we use what? The cin to pick what? That what? Integer. So don't forget, if you don't understand this portion, watch our previous video. We said that to get the number from the user, we use what? The cout and the cin. So here what do? We are checking. We say that if n modulo 2 equals 0, if we divide n by 2 and the answer is equal to 0, then see out your number is an even number. So what you want to print, we put it in this curly bracket here. So let's assume that suppose the person enters a number like say 15, and then we come and say 15 divided by 2, and we have the remainder here. So 15 divided by 2 is going to be 7, remainder 1. So we are asking, is 1 the same as 0? It's false, so nothing will print. If the person enters, let's say 12, it will be 12 divided by 2, we have the remainder here. So 12 divided by 2 is 6, remainder 0. So therefore 0 is the same as 0. So when we run this one, we enter 12, and then print the number is an even number. So suppose that the person entered 15 in our previous video here. He entered 15, and then the remainder was 1. It means that here, when the system checked, the remainder is 1. So there is nothing to print for the person to see. So remember that the person will not see anything on the screen, right? So when it happens like that, what do? That is where we use the if else statement. So an if statement can be followed by an optional else statement. So if the if condition is false, what should we do? So if the guy gets to the Gary seller, the watch seller, and there's no Gary, what should you do? So you can say, if there's no Gary, buy me spaghetti or buy me macaroni. So that is the else part. It means that you buy the macaroni or you buy the spaghetti if and only if there is no Gary. So we are saying that an if statement can be followed by an optional else statement, which executes when the Boolean expression is false. So remember that the else part will be there when the Boolean expression is false. So if the person is a lady, give him, let's say, 5,000, else bring back my money. So it means that we'll give the money if it's a lady. If it's anything else, we don't give the money. So let's see the syntax. So the syntax is the if, the condition we are checking, and the if statement to be executed if the condition is true. See how the curly bracket is here open, and the condition to be executed, and then we come to the else. So if this condition is false, then else, what should we do? We open a bracket and put also that one in here. So if there is Gary, buy me Gary, else buy me macaroni. So this is where it will happen. So if the Boolean expression evaluates to true, so if whatever expression here evaluates to true, then the if block code will be executed. This block of code here, whatever we put here, will be executed. Else, whatever we put here will be executed. So let's see the diagram. So we have a if condition. So here, if there is Gary, don't forget, if there is what? Gary. If there is Gary, what should the person do? You say you should buy you Gary what? 2 CD. So buy Gary 2 CD. So but if there's no Gary, so it means that it is like, so he said, Madam, I'm buying Wachi 5 CD. Do you have Gary? He says no. Okay, then you remember that you said that if there's no Gary, what should you buy? You should buy what? Spaghetti. So buy you told him to buy what? Spaghetti. So don't get spaghetti. So the person will buy spaghetti if there's no Gary, but if there is Gary, he buys Gary. So you send somebody to the market and say, okay, go and buy me goat meat. If there's no goat meat, buy me cow. So he goes to buy cow only and only if there's no goat. But if there is goat, he has to buy the goat. So let's see, go back to our movie question. And the movie question, we said that it will check whether the age is greater or equal to 18, and it will let you go in. But if your age is not greater or equal to 18, what should the system do? So here we use the else statement. So we come here, we pick the age of the person, and we check if the age is greater or equal to 18. And if it is true, his age is greater or equal to 18, we tell him you can go in. Else, it means that this one is when the age is not greater or equal to 18. So what should we do when the age is not greater or equal to 18? We say, oh, you are young and hence you cannot enter. So this is how to implement the if else statement in C++. So if you put the condition testing here, and then you open your curly bracket and the statement to be executed if the condition is what, true. Then you put your else here and then your curly bracket and statement to be executed when the condition is false. You can copy this one into your compiler, run it, or type it into your compiler, run it, and see what will come. Enter different ages and then appreciate the if else what statement. So back to our even numbers. If the person enters a number and the number is divisible by 2, you tell the person that it's an even number. What happens if the number is not divisible by 2? So you have to also tell the person what the number is. So here, when we pick the number, we check if the number is divisible by 2, and then we print on the screen that the number is an even if the number is divisible by 2. Else, we print on the screen the number you entered is not an even number. So for example, if the person entered 15 as we use the other one, 15 divisible divided by 2, we are interested in the remainder. Remember, 15 divided by 2 will give us what, 7, remainder what, 1. So we say that 15 divided by 2, the remainder is what, 1. So is 1 equal 0? No, 1 is not the same as what, 0. So then it will take what, the else part, because the condition is what, false. The condition is false. So it will come and print the number you entered is an odd number. Let's say the person entered assumption 20. So we have 20 divisible by 2, and we're interested in what, the remainder. So 20 divided by 2 is equal to what, 10, remainder what, 0. So here you can see that the remainder is what, 0. So here will be what, 0. So you can see a 0 equals 0, yes, and then it will print the number you entered is what, an even number. Remember that we said the modulo is used when you are interested in the remainder of divisions of what, integers. So we thank you for watching. We appreciate you watching. Please, if you love our channel, don't forget to subscribe. We ask that you watch the video until you get yourself familiar with the content or what we want to put out there. And also, if you have any question, we are saying that please send us an email or give us a comment, and we will answer you. We pray that you be a blessing, and this video will help you, and it will improve your life in programming. Stay blessed and stay safe till we meet again. Bye bye.